who can confront things in you? Who have you given access to your heart to be able to say, what would you speak into my life? How can I do things differently? Is there anyone in your life who can point out things that might sting, might be a struggle? I would encourage everyone in here to ask God and maybe a godly mentor or a friend for what you should change in your life. To humble yourself and pray and agree with God about your sin, because when we are lifted up in pride, we don't see our sin. We start to reason away our sin. We start to excuse away our sin. And this is what the verse says in verse number 5. He says, not only pulling down strongholds, but he says this power allows us to cast down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God. This is the pride that we're talking about here. This is the elevated perspective. Like, do you know who I am? Do you know what I've done? Do you know the abilities I have and the gifts I have and all of these things? That might be great, but I'm telling you, when we exalt ourselves above the knowledge of Christ, we're doing it in a way that is in our own head. And this is the word that's used, imaginations. Logasmos, it's from logizomai, which means to reckon or calculate within yourself. You're speculating based on a feeling. You feel like you are better at something than you really are. And you've elevated yourself to a position that is unhealthy. And I do that, and you do that, we all do that. And that is the root, that is the seed of pride. And by the way, this is why I said this is such a tough thing to confront in our own lives, because we all have a seed of pride. It's inside all of us. And it was the seed of pride that led Lucifer, who was the son of the morning, Isaiah 14:12. He was the son of the morning. He was the worship leader in heaven. And it asks, how art thou cut down to the ground? He says in verse 13, this is how. He said in his heart, with pride, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. I, me. Look at this. This is me. And we all get that way. And in a moment like this, we need to say, okay, God, I want to cast down that perspective. I'm not going to live a life of pride, because C.S. Lewis said, through pride, the devil became the devil. And pride leads to every vice, to the complete anti-God state of mind. There was a young lady who was in the back country of a ski resort, and she was by herself and listening to some music, and she was getting ready to go. I think we have a photo right before she was about ready to go. This is the photo. Little did you know, as she had her headphones in, as she was latching her snowboard, right behind her, I don't know if you could see it, was a huge bear. And she didn't realize this until like a year later. She was going through some of the videos of her snowboarding, and this was a video that she saw of herself completely oblivious to the bear. Watch this. She's just having a good time, has no idea she almost died. She had no idea the bear was a little bit upset she was going so fast, because she saw a fun time, he saw lunch. And all of us live lives oblivious to the horrific nature of pride and the devastation that comes in our relationships and in our minds, in our perspectives, in our hearts because of pride. It is the raging bear in our society today that everyone wants to say won't eat them. But I will tell you, it will devour you. It will devour me. And so we've got to confront it.